Hello, and welcome to VIP Vision, where we will tell you about the king of pop, Michael Jackson, who not only stunned the world with his music, but also left a lasting impression on pop culture. During his career, Jackson made a sum that few people could imagine. It is thought to be in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Jackson's way of spending money was as unique as his moonwalk. Jackson's money choices often showed his unique personality and extravagant way of life. He bought expensive real estate and helped people in need. In this video, we'll look at the interesting choices Michael Jackson made about how to spend his money. We'll look at both the lavish and the charitable parts of his financial life. But before that, like this video, and also subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for regular updates. Now let's get started. Entertainment expenses. When it came to paying for his entertainment, Michael Jackson did not save on any of the costs. About $100 was said to be spent on his entertainment each month. He was widely recognized as one of the most famous performers in the history of entertainment for his extravagant stage performances, lavish music videos, and breathtaking costumes. His performances were creative, with elaborate sets, forward-thinking choreography, and cutting-edge special effects being some of the highlights of each show. He never stopped testing the limits of what could be done in live entertainment, providing his followers with ever more amazing experiences as a result. From the moonwalk to his signature dance moves, he did everything he could to make sure his shows were beautiful. He was called the King of Pop because he worked hard at his art and was willing to put money into his artistic idea. Personal staff. Michael Jackson had many personal employees to tend to his demands and maintain an easy lifestyle. His workforce consisted of a wide variety of professions, such as security guards, assistants, chefs, drivers, and housekeepers. These people were accountable for taking care of Jackson's day-to-day needs, organizing his schedule, coordinating his travel arrangements, and keeping his house in order. Employees said they saw Michael look through catalogs and buy everything in them. He spent $4 million a year just to keep his staff at the Neverland Ranch, which included cleaners, chefs, snake handlers, and carpenters, among others. Business ventures. Michael Jackson was a famous singer, but he was also a smart businessman. He put some of his huge amount of money into different business projects. One of his most well-known businesses was MJJ Productions, a music label where he put out his music and signed other acts. According to estimates, he spent almost $475,200 monthly on MJJ Productions and Optimum Productions. Jackson also made smart investments in music publishing rights by buying catalogs of songs by famous acts like the Beatles. Through royalties, he was able to make a lot of money from these purchases. He also took advantage of his worldwide fame by getting endorsements and agreements from big brands, which added to his wealth. Jackson's business sense and ability to make money in different ways showed how well he understood the music business and how it could make money. Legal settlements. The legal and financial issues that Michael Jackson was facing required him to spend a large portion of his fortune. During his career, Michael Jackson got involved in several high-profile issues which involved considerable expenses, including allegations of child abuse, violation of copyright, and contractual conflicts. For these disputes, he frequently had to retain the services of top-tier legal teams to defend his interests and safeguard his reputation. In January 1994, Jackson paid $23 million to end the case against him, with $5 million going to the lawyers for the family. The settlement was not an admission of guilt. Jackson said he did it so the case wouldn't hurt his career, which he later said was a mistake. Fashion and style. Michael Jackson spent a lot of money on his clothes and style, which have become famous in their own right. He often had famous designers make clothes and accessories just for him. He became famous for his military-style jackets with elaborate details, sequins, and big shoulder pads. These jackets became a big part of his stage image. Experts guess he was spending between $30 million and $50 million every year on his lifestyle alone. His dress choices went beyond what was usual, pushing limits and blurring ideas about how men and women should look. Michael Jackson's interest in fashion and style showed how much he wanted to express himself and how he wanted to draw people in with his unique look. Arcade and amusement park. Michael Jackson went to extraordinary lengths to build a world-class amusement park on the expansive grounds of Neverland Ranch, which he intended to use for his pleasure, as well as that of his guests. Estimates say that he bought Neverland for $17 million in 1988. He apparently spent more than $35 million turning it into the theme park of his dreams, building a Ferris wheel, train station, and go-kart track, among other things. Since the pop star's death in 2009, the estate has been empty and falling apart. The extravagant features included a dazzling assortment of attractions, such as a Ferris wheel, roundabout, bumper cars, roller coasters, and an arcade that was fully equipped with all of the latest games. The arcade was a sight to behold since it was located in the pool house of the ranch. Personal collection and memorabilia. Jackson had a large number of works of art, antiques, and other items. He loved gathering things that had to do with famous people like Charlie Chaplin. Michael Jackson loved movies a lot and wasn't afraid to spend his money on expensive movie memorabilia. One of his most famous purchases was the 1939 Oscar for Best Picture, which went to Gone with the Wind, but after he died in 2016, the award was believed to be missing. Jackson's collection included the famous Scissorhands gloves worn by Johnny Depp in Edward Scissorhands. After Jackson died, these gloves were auctioned off and sold for up to $5,300. Michael Jackson's passion for cinema memorabilia and art showed his willingness to spend a lot of money on personal objects. His collection added to his lavish lifestyle and showed how much he loved the magic of the silver screen. Exotic pet animals. Michael Jackson spent his whole life collecting strange animals and pets. Many of them lived at his Neverland Ranch and were an important part of the environment there. His most famous animal friend of Jackson's was a monkey named Bubbles, who has a special place in our hearts. Bubbles was not the only animal in the zoo at Neverland Ranch, though. There were a lot of different kinds of animals there. At its peak, the zoo was home to more than 50 different kinds of animals. Some of the most famous were powerful alligators, beautiful giraffes, majestic tigers, and even magnificent elephants. Jackson wanted to make his property unique and wonderful, and the wide range of animals in his yard showed how much he cared about this. The Neverland Ranch. Michael Jackson's most famous purchase was the huge Neverland Ranch. This amazing 2,500-acre property in Santa Barbara County's beautiful wine country was bought for $14.6 million in 1988. Michael Jackson lived at Neverland Ranch for many years, but it became more than just a house. It became a magical place. The singer liked to create a magical world, and his farm had a private amusement park, a petting zoo, and even 3 trains. It is said that he spent an extra $35 million on improvements to the house to make it even more impressive. Even though Michael Jackson owned Neverland Ranch until he died, it went on the market in 2015 with a starting price of $100 million. In the end, it was sold to billionaire Ron Burkle for a much lower price of $22 million in 2020. This was the end of an age for this amazing property. Philanthropy. Michael Jackson was well known for his philanthropic activities and the considerable donations that he made to a variety of charitable organizations. People say that Michael Jackson does a lot for charities and people in need. Some say that over the course of his life, he gave more than $500 million to charity. He contributed significantly to children's hospitals, humanitarian relief initiatives, and educational programs through his generous donations. In addition to monetary donations, Michael Jackson used his celebrity profile to help promote a wide variety of charity causes. Because of his generosity, the lives of a great number of people in a variety of places all over the world were profoundly altered for the better. His commitment to charity was a manifestation of his sincere compassion for many people. Despite his fortune, Michael Jackson's legal concerns and lavish spending caused financial problems in his later years. His songs and other businesses make money even after his death. That's all for today. Make sure to like the video and follow us for more content. Thank you.